Back on the tail of Gunnar. He's looking to make an off-take already. Down the inside he goes.
Is he gonna go? He's gonna do it!
Oh, with Hackett now up into P9. Down the inside he goes. Another aggressive move on the other Mercedes driver. Is he gonna make a mistake? Doesn't look like.
Problem is, if he goes.
Oh, that's nice for Broad Adam, moving up to P7.
As he's currently looking to gain about 3 or 4 points. Oh, and is Nelboy going to go for it down the inside of Waza? Seems like he is, and he makes up that position. Beautiful overtake by Nelboy.
12 races, multiple divisions, 20 drivers.
All that sound good? Then why not join us now ahead of the new season? The link to our Discord will be in the description, and we hope to see you on track with us.
Delta T Racing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay to the start of the stream. YouTube was having a little bit of a hissy fit about me streaming to it, so but it seems to have fixed itself now. Welcome everyone to DTR. The first round of times have gone in on the opening laps for the drivers. We are here at sunny Great Britain. It's always beautiful here, isn't it? As you can see, it's not exactly the driest. So the drivers are putting in as best they can on, I believe, inters at this moment in time. Yep, Hackett is the only one to have put in a time on soft tyres. I wonder if that's because he was the first one out on track. I cannot remember. Is he still on them? He is still on them. The absolute mad lad. But yeah, we have a few drivers still putting in times. Miyagi has started his lap. I'm not sure if DRS is still active. And we have Magic Boot Cannon coming around to Vale and Club Corners to finish out his first timed run. Well, what can he do? He put it up into 5th place with a 1:36.594. I believe that is a Jay Hayward behind him. And the McLarens, as you can see, have swapped over to their McLaren Google Chrome finish for their liveries today. Let us see. We have Janice on the push. Where is this going to put him? As he goes quite nicely through Stowe Corner into Vale. And now through Club. Let's see where he puts himself for his first flying lap. And it is pole position. It is starting to dry up out there, I feel. Hello, Andre. You shouldn't be in the chat. You should be prepping yourself for your next outlap. As Mr. Miyagi puts himself up into 7th. The only drivers to not set a time as of yet are Maggot and Gunnar. I wonder, is anyone running their Joker? Give me 2 seconds while I just double check that information for you. There are no Jokers being run this evening. So no drivers on a Joker. So everyone will be starting in quali. We've just got Maggot to wait for. Gunnar has put himself into 9th with a 1:36.5. Let's see. Who would the next ones around be? I know the Red Bulls have done their laps. Bog has done his lap, and he's... Oh, Mikey. That's not the line you want to take through cops. Oh, well, okay. We'll get him done for vandalism. That's fine. Who is currently on a lap? We've got a few people out on their out laps as it stands. Welcome in, Johnny. Hell, you could have joined me in the comms booth. You know that, right? You could have helped me with this. Is Bog going to go for another push lap? We will wait and see. Okay. Cassell. Invalidated lap. We have Grelis on the soft tyres. Puts himself up into 4th position on soft tyres, where everyone else, bar Hackett, are on the intermediates. How... Oh, actually, no. A lot of people have gone over to the softs. That's how little attention I have been paying. Dear, oh dear. Lonely qualifying is a pain in the backside, is the bottom mark. And Grelis has just put in a purple sector 1 on what is technically an in-lap. We'll stay on board with him. Let's see how he goes. As he comes up to Maggots and Beckett's. Nice and clean. Lots of curb use through Chapel. Rear wing wide open. Barry Bogarowski puts himself on provisional with a 1:35.608. Hackett blows him out of the water by 3 seconds. 3.5 seconds even, jeez. Let's see where Grelis decides to put himself. And that is another 1.5 seconds ahead of Hackett. So, yeah, it has dried up out there, and the drivers are right to be on the soft compound. They've got 6 minutes left to get their times on the board. As Andre has put himself up into P3 provisionally. Where does Benny put himself? And he goes wide out of the last corner and invalidates. Oh, Benny. We'll save that and watch it back in a little bit. We'll watch it back with 2 minutes to go. Meanwhile, we have quite a few drivers on their out laps. We have Tom Putty, who is going to come across the line. He is out of ERS. Either that or he hasn't started his lap yet. If that was a secondary out lap, he beat his old time. Although he is now flashing again, so I do not know. Let's see. No, he's got plenty of battery. Strange. Let's go on with... yes, we'll go on with Mr. Miag. Actually, no, we'll go on with Cavolis, who has invalidated, of course. Benny has also invalidated. Let's see. Okay, we'll go on with Mr. Miyagi because he is the next to come across the line. I think Tom Putty might be starting to move slowly. I think he might be out of fuel. He might have underfueled on that run. But Miyagi comes through club corner. Let's see where this puts him. And he goes pole, a 129 dead. Tom Putty has invalidated. We now have Benny Bruno, who has invalidated. Cassell, who has invalidated. And we've got a Magic Poop Cannon, who I know personally, and those of you who watched Division 2 last season at Silverstone know personally that he is a tyre whisperer around Silverstone. He took the soft tyres in F124 16 laps before the rain came out, and then got one hell of an overcut when everyone else pitted to go onto the wet tyres. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do this evening. The track is just getting drier and drier. It's starting to rubber in as well. The later you can leave it to leave the pits and come across the line within the time, the better at this point. Magic Poop Cannon has still got quite the reserve of battery as he comes through Maggots and Beckett's. Straight on the overtake on the exit of Chapel. Down the hanger straight. Into Stowe. This looks like it's going to be a rather fast lap. Is he going to be able to topple Miyagi's pole position? Yes, he is, by 9/10 of a second. Wonderful lap from the Sauber driver there. I wonder if he's going to try and beat Nico Hulkenberg in finishing position in the race. Now everyone's starting to come out on their laps. They'd better get out of the way for the likes of Little Mikey, who is already on a flying lap. But we will go and watch Gunnar as he finishes his lap. Unless he is coming into the pits. No, he is going to finish his lap. Yep, we are completely dry. Everyone is on soft tyres. As Gunnar goes up into P5. Let's see what Little Mikey can do. He is currently one of the only people on a flyer. Let's see. And he retired from the session. I completely missed that, personally. I'm going to have to do that and see if I can get that on replay to see what the bloody hell happened. In the meantime, we will go on with Barry Bogorovsky, who does have slow-moving traffic here. Yeah, no, I completely missed the incident. I pressed the wrong button, so I didn't get the save for the incident there with Little Mikey. As Bog comes through to set his lap time, he goes P3. Let's see who is next. We have got, I believe it was Hackett. No, Miyagi was. Well, he's invalidated, so he is now out of the running. Let us see. We have got... Gunnar has just put himself on pole with a 126.9. Brilliant lap from the Gunnar there. Let's see. We've got Janis coming across the line now. What is his time going to be? Only good enough for P2 with a 27.5. As Hackett goes P3, almost matching that time. 0.008 of a second. Hackett might be a little bit hacked off with that. As Poop Cannon is coming around now. Havoc Connor only able to put in a 1:37.1, unfortunately for him. Poop Cannon only P2. Benny Buno puts himself into 6th. M. Benny puts himself up to 2nd with another 1:26 lap. 2 drivers in the 26s. Where are we going to have the next few drivers? We have both of the McLarens coming through now. Haywood is going to be a little bit upset, but Brandon puts himself up into P4. That is one hell of a qualifying. Everyone came out on roughly at the same time and gave me the hardest job of trying to keep up with everything that was going on. Thank you, everyone. And I didn't even realise Grelis got himself pole position. Will he be able to convert the pole position this week, though? As far as I can tell, he has not won a race yet this season. Although he has had multiple pole positions. Let's get the full grid there for everyone later on. Hoi, oi, oi. Right. So, Johnny, what's your prediction? Who do you think is going to win this race? Oh, Janice has left the session. Let's get him back in. I believe I have him. I do not. Why does no one accept my friend invites or friend requests? Can someone get Janice back in, please? Right, I just had to put out a notice in Division 1 because Janice is currently lagged out of the session. Let's have a look and see if he is actually there. Oh, his car's moving, not ghosted, but it could just be... who knows? Yeah, that's a good point, Johnny. It would be nice to see Bog on a podium other than in another league. Mikey to actually finish a race would, or have a good race even, would be nice for him, especially since he is starting in P18 right now. Honestly, I think around here we can never discount Poop Cannon. He is always a threat when it comes to racing around Silverstone, depending on the weather. If it's going to be dry from here on out, he may well end up being the biggest threat. But we know full well if it's changeable conditions, he is going to have a field day with the guys on this circuit. I'm going to see if I can find Janice anywhere down here. No. Right, okay, I'm going to stay on board with Giannis. Just because, honestly, Johnny, it could be a dry race, but looking at the cloud cover that's around the circuit, it did look a little bit dark. So it could be a case of a few laps dry and then it starts to rain. But who knows? Who knows? We'll find out. Give me a camera angle that's decent. There we go. 3 red lights. 4, 5. And the lights go out and away we go. Is it going to be a good, clean getaway? Let's see what happens up the back. Grelis gets a good lead out. A couple of cars going wide into turn 1. Is Giannis in the car? No, he is not. Or is he? It's not ghosting for me. So he might well be in the car. Oh, there is contact, so he's not ghosted. So he must be back in and I missed it. But he is now fighting to get those positions back that he has lost. We've got a couple of moves behind as Mr. Miyagi is around the outside of Cassell. Mikey has already made himself 2 positions, not even after the first lap. Andre has dropped back massively. I have noticed that the past couple of races, he's not been having the best starts. But out front, we still have Grelis, who put the dentures in. Leads away Guna and Benny and Brandon. This top 4 are starting to pull away from Poop Cannon, who I feel is going to want to close in and get rid of Maggot on the back of him. As we have had a change of position for P10, by the look of it, between Hackett and Bogorovsky. As Mikey has come into the pits. Is this for damage? Or is he retiring? What are you doing, little Mikey? Does he have damage? He does. He's getting a wing change. That is fine. Let's have a look through the grid. People are starting to spread out. So we have a front train of 6 split in front of Kavolis, but he's just clawed himself back into the DRS. Will he be able to stay there for the DRS detection? That's the question. Will he have the DRS this lap? The answer seems to be a resounding no. That's unfortunate. That means that the front 6 are going to start running away from Kavolis unless he can really pull them back in. Since we have got the tyre graphic coming up, let us see what people are currently on tyre-wise. So everyone apart from Tom Putty and Andre starting on the hard tyres. Tom Putty went for the softs. I think he may think he's still playing F1 24. I don't know what the graphic issue is there coming through the Hamilton straight, but it's a little bit jarring. But Mikey has stopped on to the hard tyres to get a wing change, which is unfortunate for the driver. We wish to have a decent race this time round. And we are back to having a near enough grid-long DRS train. Will Kavolis be able to... Giannis has dropped out and jumped back in. Now it's Hackett's turn. God, these guys are really flirting with the DRS limit, aren't they? It looks like Benny Buno might not get it this time around. We will find out. Let's go on board with him as he comes across the line. He did not get the DRS. That is unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He's now going to have Miyagi closing. Oh my word, Tom Putty going very wide through Stone. I mean, there's taking advantage of your softer compound and the higher grip, but that was taking the mickey, I think. There is not much changing going on at the front. Everyone is just sort of running line astern. They are waiting for the pit window to open and let their strategies sort this out, as Mr. Miyagi finally gets himself ahead of Benny Buno. That is the fight for 12th. They are out of the DRS as it stands. Janice is also the big loser at the moment, who is still out of the DRS as well. Talking of the big losers, let's have a look at the position changes. So we have Maga up 1, Cavolis down 1, so they have swapped positions. Jay Hayward has decided he wants to make inroads since his quali was not as good as he would have hoped. Up 4 positions, Janice down 1. We've got Bog up 3. We've got Hackett down 2. Miyagi up 4. Bruno down 3. Tom Putty up 1. Cassell down 1, so they have just swapped positions. Havoc Connor is up 1, and that is because Andre has dropped back 6 positions from the start. I really need to start getting a drink before these races start, as we just saw a dive from Hoop Cannon up the inside of M. Benny there to grab P4. He is now on the push. He knows that if he is going to make any form of inroads in this race, he needs to start pushing now, get further up the field, and potentially undercut the rest of the field. Let us have a look at that recap. Benny slid wide. That is why he went up the inside there. I completely missed that, unfortunately. But luckily, I caught the end of the incident. So, let us see. There has been no change between the front two. They have been going as it is. Slight lock up for Guna there, with Grelis leading the way. Guna in P2. Brandon up to P3 and Hoop Cannon up to P4 after M. Benny had his little bit of a slide through the loop. And we've got another move going on further back. I believe that was Bogorovsky on Giannis. They are now 2.5 seconds adrift. So Bog is going to have to push with his ERS to get away from Giannis. Although it looks like Giannis is struggling with his tyres. He is just dropping places now. It is unfortunate for him because he did have the issue while doing his race strategy. But it does look like he is in the car, so fingers crossed that he is in and someone actually invited him back before the race started. Let us see, where is the closest battle at this moment in time? It would actually be Miyagi on Barry Bogorovsky, and he gets up the inside of Stowe, but Bog is holding it around the outside. Is he going to dive up the inside of Vale? He is, but does not make it stick. That is unfortunate for Bogorovsky, but brilliant from Miyagi. Well done, boys, for not spinning each other out on that one, as Andre becomes the latest victim of a 3-second time penalty. Let us see what the other penalties are. Havoc Connor also on 3 seconds, and Lil Mikey is on 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. But I have a feeling he is just going to have to pit again anyway at this rate. He's not going to take those hards to the very end of the race. And I have just noticed Grelis has pulled out a gap in front of Guna. He has started to pull away. He does not want to stick around any longer and has bolted from the front of the Ferrari. So now this makes Guna the de facto leader of the DRS train and the one most vulnerable to it. Is Brandon going to be able to make use of the DRS on the hangar straight this time round? No, he's not close enough. Boot cannons seem to be struggling in the dirty air there a little bit, going a little bit wide through Stowe. And we have our first driver coming into the pits, which isn't for damage, and it is Giannis. So we will keep an eye on what tyres he is going to be out on, whether he's going to be doing a 2-stop or a 1-stop, depends on the tyres he decides to put on at this point. As Grelis has really shown his race pace right now on lap 8, just putting his foot down and bringing that gap up to 2.6 seconds. Guna is probably kicking himself right now, wishing that he had stayed in that DRS. I do apologise for the noises. I'm still having some sinus issues when I talk a lot. Let us see what is going on. Where's the closest battle? The closest people at the moment is Maggot on the back of Benny Buno. There he goes. Takes the inside line. Is he going to be able to make it through? Oh, and they've made contact. That is unfortunate for both of the drivers there, and I've pressed the wrong bloody button again, so I'm not going to have a replay of that, unfortunately. I need to move that replay button elsewhere so it's easier to press. But that is unfortunate for Maggot. He went for the inside of Benny, and Benny pretty much closed the door and they came together, causing Maggot to spin. We have now got Cassell and Tom Putty into the pits as well. Tom Putty coming off of the soft tyres and going onto the hards. So he is going to go for the next 17 laps on hard tyres. As Benny gets himself a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That's unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver. But then again, this is practice for him for tomorrow in Division 2. Same with Barry Bogorovsky as well. Let's see, are there any others in Division 2? I believe Andre is in Division 2 as well. I will have to look that up later. But we've had a move for P2. Brandon has finally made the move on Guna to take P2 away from him under DRS. Will Brandon be able to make inroads on Grelis, who has now got a 3.6 second lead ahead of the McLaren? As Benny has now come into the pits. So he is going probably from medium to hard compound. The 1-stop is possible here. It is normally the strategy to go with. The pit lane is too slow and too long for a 2-stop. So if we see anyone doing a 2-stop, unfortunately Little Mikey will have to. but that's because he had wing damage on the first lap. But if anyone else decides to do a 2-stop race, it will be interesting to see where they end up. But there is now a massive gap between the front 7 and Barry Bogorovsky. There is a 4.5 second gap between the two trains. And then we've got Connor and Andre running around by themselves, and a few other cars behind them who have pitted and just come out in massive amounts of space. And that is Bogorovsky coming into the pit lane, along with Guna and Magic Poop Cannon. So they are going for the undercut. They are going to try and see if they can undercut to get as close to Grelis as they possibly can. I am surprised that Grelis is still going on these tyres. I mean, it's not unheard of. He will have the fresher hard tyres, but the problem with that is they take time to warm up. So the sooner you can get onto the hard tyres, the better you will be. Then again, the majority of these drivers are on wheel. The ones who are currently still out on their original tyres are on wheel. So they can make their tyres last longer. As Hayward picks up a penalty which is going to hamper him massively. That's unfortunate for the McLaren driver right there. As Poop Cannon is making his way through in a really unorthodox position. He made that pass in Loughfield and Woodcote. That's not normally where you would go, and Grelis has come into the pits. And Brandon has stayed out. Brandon is going another lap, letting his teammate Hayward take the first pit stop. So this gives Brandon at least one lap leading the race. As at this point, Grelis has led every lap up until now. Where will the net race leader come out, is the question. He is now out of the pits and he is ahead of Guna and Poop Cannon. What is the gap? It is 5 seconds. Guna and Poop Cannon have been held up. Probably by Benny. I think they both had to pass Benny, who had pitted a lap before. So that has massively helped Grelis in his race. Grelis is almost within DRS of Andre ahead of him. But it may not count this lap anyway. Unless he can get in. Is he there? He is. He's just got himself inside DRS. That is insanity. This man is on steroids in this Mercedes. So he's going to have DRS to help him catch up with the other cars who are now coming into the pits anyway. Andre is... I do apologise. Andre is still on the hard tyres that he started on, but he will be going longer into his stint. Grelis is going to get one hell of an undercut thanks to that DRS as well. That DRS is going to help him by about 3/10, I would say. And even Andre is out in front of the other cars. They are 5 seconds behind as Guna goes past Brandon around the outside of Village. That is absolutely insane. Guna really wants this podium right now. Let's just hope he does not burn out his tyres with the amount of racing he is currently doing. As Magic Poop Cannon makes it around the outside of Brandon in Blufffield. He really seems to like that corner for making overtakes. But it does make sense. These tyres are warmer than Brandon's. They are up to temperature. They are at their racing optimal temperature. Where Brandon has got to do at least another lap to get the tyres up to temperature before he can start pushing. Doesn't quite explain Benny. Maybe there were a couple of mistakes for the Aston Martin driver. But we will wait and see. We will see what happens as Andre still staying out. He is currently, himself and Mikey are out on the oldest tyres on the track right now with 13 and 11 respectively. It is unfortunate for Mikey that he is lagging behind everyone else. But that's what happens when you get damage in the first race. In the first lap of the race, sorry. It is a bit upsetting for him. I know how it feels to be in this position. I've been there many times. But if he holds out, you never know. 8 people might crash out in the next 10 laps. So he might end up being lucky. But we will wait and see for Mikey's sake. And now Grelis, on his much fresher hard tyres, has pulled a 2-second gap on Andre. Andre would have really wanted to stay in that DRS to keep the gap to the cars behind. But we do have Guna, Poop Cannon, Brandon, Benny, Miyagi, Haywood, all within DRS of each other. They are all going to be training down to try and get back within Grelis's DRS. The thing is, this group really need to work together to be able to catch Grelis at this point, as Andre has now come into this. It is now a question of where is Andre going to come out, because he's going to be on the medium tyres, much faster tyre, but is he going to be able to make the moves and catch the cars that he needs to catch? Unfortunately for him, he's come out much further back, so it shows that the alternate strategy does not work at Silverstone, at least not for Andre, which is unfortunate. Meanwhile, Kavolis is trying to do his absolute best to catch the back of Haywood here. He is 3 seconds behind, and that time is slowly going up now. It was coming down. When I came on to him, he was 3.6. He brought it down to 3.1, and now it's going back up. I think that shows that he has a lower wing than the others. He is now on the straight, and oh, actually, yeah, because he's got no DRS, they are pulling away from him. It is unfortunate for Kavolis, seeing all of the progress that he makes in the corners disappear on a DRS straight like that. Must be really disheartening. But he is in the points, so he knows that he can go around and finish with points on the board. As we have got Benny, who was closing up to the back of Brandon in braking zone, and goes deep. He goes very deep in Village. And that allows Miyagi and Haywood to sneak through on the inside. They cut underneath him and got through. That is unfortunate for the Aston Martin. That was not something he needed to happen. Grelis is just showing off now. 6.5 seconds. This is not what was planned. This is not what we discussed. I blame Johnny for not picking someone for a race win. It just gives Grelis the opportunity. He's almost brought it to 7 seconds. As we have Miyagi right behind Brandon now. Ever since he got past Benny, he has been able to unleash himself and really push to try and catch up to the back of the bag. As Connor picks himself up a second 3-second time penalty. And that was at Maggots and Beckett's, unfortunately for him. As Grelis puts in the fastest lap of a 1:29.4, I believe that was. Let's see. Yep, 1:29.465. Oh. There we go. No. Come on. There we go. That's better. So yeah, the front of the grid are going to be desperately trying to catch up to Gralis at this point, as Poop Cannon has made himself almost got himself out of DRS from Guna. Guna is now on the push. He wants to get rid of this train. Unfortunately for him, he didn't do it this time around, which will allow Poop Cannon to reel himself back in a little bit and stay within the DRS range. Benny seems to be struggling on these hard tyres. Okay, that is a in-game glitch apparently. That slight stuttering on the Hamilton straight. It's something to do with my graphic settings, which I will sort out for the next race. As we have Miyagi right up behind Brandon, with Brandon right up behind both Poop Cannon and Guna. These four are going to be fighting it out until the very last lap, I feel. We have another 9 laps to go, or 8 laps to go after this one, I believe. As little Mikey gets a 10-second for track limits. I don't know whether he was trying to get out of the way of the people lapping him, or whether it was a genuine mistake. That's unfortunate for Mikey. Hopefully next week will be better for his racing pride, because this is going to be disheartening for him. Let's go on to the back of this group here. From this view, you can see the entirety of this snake. Oh, Benny puts it in a slide through the loop. That's not the way you wanted to do that, but Haywood is out of DRS. Will he stay out of DRS? Will he be able to get the detection? Haywood desperately needs to stay within the 1 second of Miyagi, and it looks like he's going to, with a little bit of a battery burn on the national pit straight. Benny has just clung on to that. As Poop Cannon gets himself a 3-second time penalty. That is not what he wanted. Definitely not. As Miyagi goes for a dive. That is one hell of a risky move into stone when someone has just been passed already. But that was a beautiful pass from Miyagi on Poop Cannon. This does mean Brandon is now up onto the podium, along with Miyagi and Poop Cannon hiding behind him. So at this point, Miyagi has either got to get past Brandon or pray that him or Guna make a mistake and have a 3-second time penalty. Miyagi is closing in, shows his nose but doesn't go for the move, trying to put Brandon off into the corner. People, put your predictions in the chat now. What is going to be the finishing positions for 2, 3, 4? Who is going to finish in P2, P3, and P4? Put it in the chat now. Because I'm... having watched these guys race, I get the feeling that Guna is going to be P2, Miyagi is going to be P3. Unfortunately for Brandon, I feel Miyagi is going to get the drop out. Maybe on the very last lap, but we will have to wait and see. But Grelis is in a world of his own. He's obviously been practicing this track day in, day out for the past month, just for today's race, just to prove to himself that he can win at Silverstone and that he can win in DTR once again, like he did last season, the reigning champion. As far as I know, he has not won a race this season. Well, I'm going to leave him be because I don't want to jinx him. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse. So what is going to happen here? Is Brandon going to be close enough to the back of Guna to make the pass? And is Miyagi going to be brave enough to go for the same move that he did on the Poop Cannon? Oh, Poop Cannon in the background there. A little bit wobbly and loses the place to Hayward because of it. Let us have a look at the instant replay that we last had. And that is the pass from Miyagi on Poop Cannon. Beautiful work. Just followed Brandon through and gave no opportunity for Poop Cannon to come back at him. And Janice is in the pits. He's done a 2-stop and, well... Okay, that's confusing. He's thrown away his track position there. Now, I cannot remember. I think Johnny, if you are still in the chat, do we still give out the fastest lap point as a league? Because I believe that's what Giannis could potentially be going for. Brandon now going for the move on Guna. He's a couple of laps early, but he's going for it now. No, we do not. Okay, so we follow the rules from IRL. No problem. So, unless Giannis has gone through his tyres and chewed them up so badly that he has to come off them, I do not know why else he would be on soft tyre. As Miyagi now goes up the inside of Guna, which turns to the outside of the loop. Is he going to be able to put the traction down? Yes, he is. Wonderful move from Miyagi, and I believe he has the DRS on Guna. So I think my prediction may have been wrong at this point. It seems Hayward is very quick through this part of the track, but then is a lot slower on the straights and has to rely on the DRS of the car ahead. Maybe it's just me, but that's what it seems. Kavolis has finally caught up to the back of the group, mainly because Benny has dropped out of DRS of the cars ahead. So Benny is now holding up Hayward and Puka while trying to keep up with Guna, Miyagi and Brandon ahead. Now the real question is, has Guna burnt out his tyres already? Is this why he was not able to retake the position on the hangar straight? Let's have a little look further back as we have Barry Bogorovsky. Yep, there is the fastest lap from Giannis. A 128.935 on soft tyre compound. Someone might want to tell him that he doesn't get a fastest lap point for it, though. It just goes onto the stat card. That's about it now. As Benny Buno has a bit of a wobble out of left field. Does this give Barry Bogorovsky a run even before Maggots and Beckett? If he's smart, he'll hang around and wait for the DRS. Bogorovsky recharging before the straight. Miyagi gets himself a 3-second time penalty. What is wrong with you up front? I mean, at this point, Kavolis is going to jump up to P5 at the least. And there's another one for Havoc Connor. We are quite accustomed to seeing those. But he gets to have another go tomorrow in Division 3. Hopefully this time with... Oh my word! What happened to Benny Buno there? Was that DRS chicken? That is a little bit questionable. But right now, Barry Bogorovsky has pulled out a 1-second gap to Benny Buno. Is he going to be able to hold that 1-second gap until the DRS detection point? It doesn't look like it. It looks like Benny Buno is burning his battery. That is a lot of B's for one blooming sentence. Benny Buno burning battery. Let us go up with Jay Hayward. Gets very close to the back of M. Benny here. And it is the last lap as Grelis has started the final lap now. As Kavolis gets past Poop Cannon. I missed what happened. Poop Cannon made a mistake and has gone very wide. And that has let Kavolis through up into P7. This could spell trouble for the cars ahead. Let us have... Yeah, exactly, Johnny. Let's have a look at these penalties. So, everyone barring Havoc Connor and Little Mikey has 3-second time penalties, where Havoc Connor has 12 seconds of time penalties and Little Mikey still has his 10-second time penalty. He has not come in off of his hard tyres, has he? Or has he? No, he's on the softs. He's just come in and come back out on the softs. He is, however, a lap down, I believe. to leader. Yeah, that's not quite right, is it? Doesn't want to tell me. Anyway. As Grelis comes around Vale and Club and across the line to finish the race 8 seconds ahead of P2. We now have Brandon and Miyagi taking the podium positions. Guna passes Miyagi. So that is Guna, Brandon and Grelis on the podium. And Barry Bogarowski takes P10. Oh my word. What a race. There was a lot of trains, a lot of silly little mistakes made for a couple of drivers. We'll go on board with Havoc Connor as he comes across the line. Well done to the drivers. Well done for everyone actually finishing the race. No one crashed out this time. So yeah, that is a very long Silverstone race with Grelis finishing in P1, Brandon in P2, and Guna in P3. I have a feeling they will be rather pleased with that, and I have a feeling Grelis will be screaming in the Division 1 chat about the fact that he's finally won a race this season. Let's go and have a look here. We have got Grelis as the race winner. Fastest lap goes to Janice. Driver of the day is Miyagi with the most overtakes, and the cleanest driver, of course, was Grelis out in front. Let's get the screenshots here. There we go. I will also export those. So, I wish to say thank you to everyone for watching this evening. I have been D Summers 90, and this has been DTR Season 13 at Great Britain. We are next live on Thursday, tomorrow night, Division 2, which will be Nellboy will be dropping out of the race, unfortunately, to cover Division 3 commentary. So you will have 2 streams to watch tomorrow. You will have Division 2 with Thomas back on the comms. It's been a long time since he's been on the comms for us. We will have Nellboy on Division 3 comms as well. Johnny will be racing in Division 3 and probably, I don't know, crashing out in Turn 1, Lap 1. But here's hoping. I will be racing tomorrow as well in Division 2. So please do come and watch us. I will be back with the drivers you saw today next Wednesday, 8 PM GMT. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.